All right, Brett, let's try and stay positive here. It was fun to watch. I know it's super annoying that the time differential doesn't work, but what are we going to do? I mean, it was still fun. Like, I jumped up out of my seat at one point. It's good. Got to be positive. Yes, no, it was great. I loved it. It was super fun to watch. I'm so glad I watched it. Welcome back to the race recap. I am Joe, and this is the #1 most talked about ski racing analysis show that's filmed in a garage at Green Mountain Valley School. I just finished watching the Lech Zurs parallel event, the men's side of it, and it was a good race. It was fun. It was entertaining. There was some good head-to-head action. Huge congratulations to Christian Hirschbuhl. I'm not quite sure how old he is. He's 1990. So that makes him, what, 31? 31 years old, gets his first World Cup win. The guy qualified 15th into the runoffs and then took out Zan Kranchek, which was my lonely letdown of the day. Everybody knows I love Zan Kranchek, and I was really hoping he'd have a big day out there. But Hirschbuhl was better. Hirschbuhl went out and beat him, and then Hirschbuhl just kept on checking people off the rest of the day. He really competed great. He went through Trevor Philp, who looked really good out there. And then he went through Henrik Kristofferson, and then finally beat Daniel Rashner, who was the #1 qualifier. Really cool to see him out there winning. It was great. My big emotion moment of the day was for Charlie Raposo. Now, I don't really know Charlie, but I've heard a lot about him for a long time from some people I knew who were on the ski team. They always really liked him and always spoke super highly of the kid. So when he came down after the first run and he put himself in there for the possibility of qualifying, I was pretty excited. And then in the second run, he gave it his all, but came in 17th. So he missed the runoffs by 1. I was bummed about that, and I didn't know how much I was rooting for Charlie Raposo until that moment. And hopefully this gives him the confidence boost he needs to kick it in there in a regular World Cup and start making some second runs. So good luck, Charlie Raposo. Can't wait to have your picture right here. In the beginning of the race, the red course was faster down the final pitch, but then the blue course was faster going through the finish line. So it was really exciting watching people on the red kind of have an advantage, but then people in the blue sneak through the finish line right before the guy in red got there. Then things started to change as we went through the runoff rounds, where the blue course got a little ruddy in the middle. At the beginning, fourth gate-ish, you got a big rut in it, so that would slow people down. And then the red course stopped being as slow through that finish line. Or maybe it was the blue course, which wasn't spitting people across the line as fast anymore. I'm not sure which, but we ran into a situation where we've been before with these parallel events, where the red course was more than half a second faster than the blue course. And they only are giving the people on the red course a maximum advantage of a half a second. So then they switch courses and the person goes out with an advantage of half a second, but the other person gets to run the red course with an unlimited time clock, and they beat them by 57 hundredths. And now you, as the winner of the first run, who just beat the guy by more than half a second, only get a half second advantage, and the guy beats you by 57 hundredths, and you lose the run because they got the faster course second. So pretty big flaw in the parallel event, which we've seen twice now, which is kind of a bummer, but hopefully something could get done about it. I don't know. It's these kind of things that make it tough to get really excited about these races, but there was still some really good skiing. Another Canadian that was out there and skied super well was Eric Reed. Now, to start the day, I wasn't sure if this was going to be a strong race for Eric. However, he came out and qualified at 6, and he skied really, really well. And I had an epiphany about Eric Reed. He is a really good bottom of the turn guy. He carries his speed as good as anybody. And when he's rolling, he's just linking completion so fast, and he never loses time and has these really, really fast runs. Now, when I had this epiphany was when he was racing Kristofferson. Christopherson got a little ahead of him, and you saw where Eric had to actually pick up some pace and try and gain some speed, and so he did that by trying to roll into the top of the turn because that's where you could generate speed. But he didn't have that so much, and I had that thought, you know what? His game is when he's able to just come in, maybe shift the skis a little bit, but find the fall line with a clean ski and then just ride it clean out, and he links a lot of those clean completions together, and that's when he gets his best results. So something to watch in the future. We can all keep an eye on it together. Trevor Philp, the other Canadian in the race, who also qualified super strong and maybe has the best start out of anybody in the race. He was extremely fast out of the start every run. And Trevor Philp, he can roll the top of the turn. He's good at making speed out of the top of the turn. As it ended up, we had Philp in, fifth? No, hold on, let's go over here. Philp was fifth. Fifth place World Cup result for Trevor Philp to start the season. That is dynamite. Talk about getting the confidence up there and feeling like you really belong in the World Cup. Couldn't be more excited for him. And then Eric Reed ends up seventh as they both won their heats to get the better place. For Philp, it was the 5th and 6th runoff, and for Reed, it was the 7th and 8th runoff. So I would call that a super positive day, super strong day for the Canadians, something to be proud of. Unfortunately, there were no Americans in the race. I get it. You skip it. A lot of people skip this, and you go home and you train and you get better. Sounded like River Radimus was planning on being in it, so it would have been great to have him out there, but he wasn't. He's resting. He's making that knee better. Hopefully he's feeling a lot better and is going to be crushing it come Lake Louise Super G and Beaver Creek Super Gs. I don't know if he's running the downhills. Maybe he is, but I'm just hoping that River can be healthy, ready to go for whatever is next on his plate. Some other stories from Lech. Atle McGrath, phenomenal skiing. The kid is sick. He's fired up. He's excited. He's got that youthful energy that you can just tell. He's a competitor. He is fast. His headshot on the World Cup, he looks like some kind of Fabio model with the hair coming in front of his eyes. Kid's great. Adel, let's get a picture of you up here. You belong. Anything else from there? Let's see. Oh, Alexander Vanazari made the runoffs in what kind of a GS situation. If Vanazari can get 2 events going, it'd be totally awesome. This is a guy who won a slalom 2 years ago, struggled last year maybe with the pressure of having won a slalom the year before, but Vanazari, the Italian, I'm looking forward to him adding a second event, GS, and then getting back on the podium slalom because I like that kid a lot. All right, that's kind of all I got. It was a parallel event. It was decent. The time differential issue becomes a major issue because you're not looking at maybe the right guy winning. One thing that we can take away from it as a total positive is that the final run between Rashner and Hirschbiel had the fastest combined times. I mean, they actually took the time of each run on each course. The fastest combined times of any run I can find here in the runoffs. And here's what's really bad about it. Rashner was a 45.28 if you combine the 2 times, and Hirschbiel was a 45.30. So Rashner in the final had a combined time faster than Hirschbiel. Unfortunate. But those 2 times were the fastest of the day. So those guys kept building, kept getting better, and they really displayed it out there at the end. It was exciting. I was on my feet for the end, and I hope everyone else was too. Moving forward, we are looking forward to the ladies in Levy next weekend. I am fired up about that. I love watching Levy. It's a fun race, and you really get to see the best out of the girls. We get 2 of those in a row. Looking for 2 Michaelas, and we're looking for Paula Moltzen to have a big one out there. Nina O'Brien to have a big one. AJ Hurt to have a big one. Maybe Lila Lapagna shows up on the scene. I don't know, but I am excited about it. I will be here watching, and I'm going to report back to you. And in the meantime, if you can find anybody that wants to get some pictures up here, send them my way. Need more pictures. That's the race recap. Brett, can we get some real World Cups here? I don't want to just complain about the fist the whole time. Well, maybe they just need to make the rules so that everyone's like on board and the right person's winning. I know they've been doing it forever and they're really, really good at it and they got a nice schedule and all the classics are really, really good. We're not going to lose Kitzbühel just if they change the rules in the parallel to make sense. The Hahnenkamm doesn't get shorter if we put more races during prime time. I'm just some guy in my garage. I don't know. Just edit it together and make me sound good. What do you think? Should it be like this move, chest hug, this move, chest, arm around the back? I don't know. It seems awkward sometimes, like they don't know what's going on. What about just high fives? Is it not personal enough?